Mm-hmm.
All righty. Well, I will first like to say thanks everybody for tuning in to the Hood Talks podcast. I am excited to be here with Mr. Haki Mitchell, and we are going to talk about his amazing organization.
Yes, we are.
Well, how are you, sir?
I'm good now that we got our connection established.
Yes, I know we did have to like emphasize and reschedule this, but we got it together. And thank you for putting in the work to make sure that we did this interview. So
Right.
I appreciate you.
It's definitely important. It's definitely important.
Yes, especially your organization. You have an amazing organization, and I really want to like
Uh-oh.
talk about it and dive into it. So first, give everybody like a brief bio of who you are and what you're willing to share about yourself, and then we'll shoot into what the organization is and what the organization does. So,
Okay. So I think I will start this portion of the interview with just telling you how I came about to even have the idea to even start the organization. So I was incarcerated in 1997, and the circumstances that are surrounding that incarceration is what gave me the insight and the vision to know that it was something bigger than just me going to jail, right?
right.
So the incident that happened, I literally done a crime that they consider a crime. I consider it self-defense, but I literally done a crime, and in the act, the police rolled up on the scene. Literally rolled up on the scene as I was committing the crime, so to speak.
Oh wow.
So it was almost like it was already destined and planned, saying for that to go down just like it did. Because how did I realize, how did it happen to be the police pulling up when a crime was going down? You know what I mean? How often does that happen?
Right,
So,
right.
so from that point on, I never seen the streets again, and that was 1997. And while I was incarcerated, saying, I realized what the issue was that I thought was going on in the black community and in our society as well. And that is the enormous incarceration rate
Hmm.
of black males.
Yes.
Yes, as I was explaining to you, when we sitting down talking there, it's like 17 male prisons in Missouri and 2 female prisons. So
Hmm.
that's a large number of prisons in Missouri alone.
Yes.
And we're not talking about the rest of the world, what I'm saying, United States. We're not talking about just the United States. We're just talking about Missouri, 17 male prisons. So I realized while I was there that the issue is most, I'm gonna say the majority of, I'm gonna say 75% of the people in prisons are black people, black
Hmm.
males.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
was one of them. And I realized that was the issue that our children's brothers, uncles, fathers, cousins, all these positive figures in their life are incarcerated. And they sometimes are incarcerated at a very early age.
Yes.
So as in my story, I was incarcerated and I left my 3-year old and my 1-year old son out here to pretty much fend for themselves.
Right.
So that's where the passion grew. And I started doing the research to start an organization to help children whose parents are in prison because I dealt with the issue myself with my children, having a father that was incarcerated. So that's when the passion grew and the vision started to take legs and shape. And I did the homework to establish it. When I came home in 2006, I established ACOPP 2 years later in 2008.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean that's great that you came out with something positive to do, and you worked hard and made it a great organization. So, kudos to you for that. Some people turn right back,
Okay.
or some people don't have no other options and turn right back into the crime system, and then they go right back. But you took a
Exactly. So
bad. Go
that's
ahead.
one of the reasons why I started ACOP. So I said I'm gonna make sure I stop this recidivism. I'm gonna stop this, especially with our children. I'm gonna stop these our incarcerated youth. I'm stopping that process. They're not going to keep making money off our children.
I call it the new slavery. But yes, 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 the new form of slavery. But yeah, so can you explain what your organization does? Um,
Sure.
This came back from a search.
Yeah, in a nutshell, my organization helps children whose mother and fathers are incarcerated. And what we do is we maintain an open and consistent line of communication with the child and their parent until the child either ages out of our program at age 18, or the parent is released from prison and come home into our sister program, which is called Second Chance of St. Louis.
Okay, okay, okay.
So we do that. We do that open line of communication in three forms. The first step is letter writing. So we'll have the child communicate with their parent by writing letters weekly. So every time they come to our workshops, our program, the HERD program, when they come to the HERD program, there's a portion in that program where they have time to either write their parents a letter or do some journaling if they don't have an incarcerated parent. And then we do that every week for like a quarter, 4 months. And then after that phase, we start phase 2, which is the phone calls. And we'll actually send the parent a calling card. And that way they can call one of our phones at our office and they can talk to their child during that time period that they're there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then the final phase is the visitations. And if you go on our website, you actually see us taking one of our youth to see her father. Her name was Unique. And we took her to see her father on the trip. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch actually went with us on that trip and recorded the whole thing. So you can see that whole thing on our website.
Okay. And what's the website?
The website is www.ACOPP, the number 4, and the word change, CHANGE.org.
Okay. Well, that sounds like something so awesome. And especially for parents that probably like mothers that's out here working hard and they can't afford to take, it then depends on whether the people or the parent is incarcerated at. Because some people might have to be in a different state or,
Right. Exactly.
They won't have access to be able to travel to a different state. So you providing that service is that's amazing. Honestly.
And then you would realize how much more difficult that the DOC, Department of Correction, I call it Department of Corruption. You wouldn't realize how much difficult they make it so that you don't even want to come visit your loved ones. You don't even want to come because they make it so hard for you to come in. You got to be dressed right. You got to, you got to look right. You got to have on the right clothes. Everything got to be perfect for you to come visit one of your loved ones. So they make it very, very difficult to have a relationship with your loved one.
And that's sad because that's like taking this disconnecting, especially if that's the man in the role. He's the father, he's the head of the household. It's a disconnect, and that him being able to communicate to his family. He's the head macho, and then the mom and the children can't connect to their father or to their mate, and that's right. So that's at
the very least, get some positive information and some encouraging words at the very least.
Right. To help keep him mentally strong. Oh, let's not talk about that. You really highlighted a lot on how you guys are impactful to the community, and making sure that you're keeping the relationship for the loved ones and the people that's incarcerated. Is there anything else you think you want to highlight about what you guys do and how beneficial you are to the community?
Yeah, sure. I alluded to it a little bit when I said something about the HERD program. So that was our way to stabilize communities. We created a program in order to teach children certain skills like life skills, and I want to say like stranger danger. So we do in our program, the HERD program, we teach different modules of learning styles that children need to perceive, to pick up on. Because what I figured out is, and what we all know is, that most of us have different learning styles. We learn differently, at different rates. So that's one of the things we do in our program. We watch the children. We create games and a program to be able to observe them doing natural things so that we can kind of pick up on what they're good at, what they're talented at, what their interests are. And once we observe that, then we start to guide them into, like I say, games or the programs that we have, and we just basically put them where they'll be better fit to learn and to grow without being ridiculed and stuff like that. That's basically what, in a nutshell, what the HEARD program does.
Okay, and you said it's the HEARD program, like being
Yeah,
heard.
HEARD. Yeah, HEARD.
Okay. And then you also mentioned the Second Chance program. You want to talk about that a little bit, or
Sure, we can talk about that just a little bit. Like I said, the Second Chance is the sister program to the HERD program, the ACOPP program. Whereas when the parents does get paroled and come home from prison, we immediately do things what I call a rapid attachment. I rapidly attach them to programs and services to help them not recidivism, not go right back to the same old environment that they came from and do the same old things that they once did. So it's just basically classes that I teach on the things that I've learned and I've experienced to try to get people educated. I do entrepreneurs classes and things like that.
okay? All right, you got a lot going on, sir. Hey, that's what's up. So how can the community support you and your organization? What can we do to rally around and help make sure that you're continuing the work that you're doing?
Well, like you're doing right now, the main thing is awareness, spreading the word, because ACOPP has been around since 2008, people. And if you have not heard about ACOPP, Assisting Children of Prison Parents, then someone in your family, your friends, your community is doing you a disservice, especially if you have a child who is dealing with an incarcerated parent.
Yes.
And if you have a child who has an incarcerated parent and you're not connected to programs and resources to help that child, then someone is doing you a disservice if they haven't told you about ACOPP or maybe Better Family Life or Teens of Tomorrow, any of these programs that mentor children. We need to start getting our children in programs and services that's conducive to help them grow and fill in voids that they may be missing and lacking.
Yes.
We have programs out here that fill those voids, but we're not putting our children in those programs.
And I want to piggyback on what you said about the awareness of those programs. And that is definitely why I started the Hood Needs segment, because I definitely wanted to highlight organizations and businesses like you that are serving the community and, like you said, filling those voids and connecting the children or even the adults to certain resources. So,
Yes, that is key. That is key. I call it a rapid attachment. We can no longer tell a parent who come home from prison, well, you need to go over here and get a bus pass. You need to go over here and get maybe food stamps. No, we need to have a one-stop shop where they can come and we can provide all the wraparound resources that they need to reestablish themselves in society.
yes. You are definitely on to something here. We're gonna, I guess, kind of, unless you got something else to say or you want to put out there to the community, to the people, or anything you feel like you want to close this out on, yeah, feel free. Your opportunity.
Well, we how we talk, what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it strictly about the business because I'm a really a creative person. So my mind be really thinking about different ways to change things. And sometimes my views is not always acceptable to everybody else. But I will say that we've had we've had tons and tons of people who have told us that the old way ain't working. We have plenty of examples of the old way not working. My thing is we have to forge out a new way for our children to navigate the neighborhoods that they're growing up in, because these neighborhoods are no longer safe havens for our children. We need safe houses all over the neighborhood so children can go in either after school when they don't have a parent that's picking them up from the bus stop. They need a safe haven to go into when the parents got to work and no one's there to watch over them. We need these places all over the neighborhood, all over the city for children to be able to go to until parents are able to watch their children. Because we're entering a time period right now where the children are very vulnerable and no one is paying attention to them, and things are happening to our children that we have no control over.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Right down to the educational system, but I ain't gonna get into all that right now. But right down to the educational system, we are not watching our children and what they're being taught.
Yes. Oh, look, like you said, we can go all day about this.
Right.
But I appreciate you for coming on and talking about your organization. How can people reach you if they want to show you support, or reach your organization if they want to show you support?
Okay, so our office is at 4313 Shreve. That's right off of Highway 70 between Calvin and Anderson. We're right across the street from the church, the Catholic Church. And you can't miss our building. We got blue, red, yellow, and purple doors on the front of the building. And that's our office, and we'll be opening it up. Right now, we're doing Sundays and Mondays from 10 to 5, but we'll be going more to a full-time schedule when the springtime and it start getting warm outside.
Okay.
So that's our physical location. You also can contact us on our website. You can donate right on the website. My telephone number's on there. You can call me and contact us. You can always drop something off at the site. We're partnering with right now a brother named Tavon Brooks. He's running for alderman in the 21st Ward. So
Okay.
we want to highlight this brother. He has some great programs. He has some great ideas that he's want to implement. So I'm working with him to get him elected as the alderman of 21st Ward. And that way we can see some resources coming into this neighborhood, because right now I don't want to dog any other alderman that's out there, but there is no resources coming into the neighborhood that I can see that is changing things in the neighborhood.
Hey, you just keeping real and raw and your experiences. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with
Right.
it. So I definitely again want to thank you and shout out to, what was his name again?
Tavon Brooks.
Tavon Brooks. So you guys, if you are listening and you live in that area, look out, find out about him and get out and vote and help support that guy.
Yep.
Yeah. So, well, thank you again. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna close this out. To all my The Hood Talks podcast viewers and listeners, be on the lookout for January 23rd. It's the fight for equity and the man's role in it. It's going to be live, Facebook and YouTube. And then check out my flow of shows in February. I got Black and Publishing or Published. I got Black Love, which is another live show. We got two great licensed professional counselors that will be on the show taking questions. So be looking out for that. Go like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also if you want to get in contact and be on the show to talk about your great organization and what it's doing for the community, it's the hood, the hood talks with the S at gmail.com. All right, y'all. And we are out.